Hi and welcome to tutorial 1 of MVTS switch. In this phase of the tutorial, we'll be learning how to log into your switch, how to open the CDRs, and how to access a certain number in the CDR. Now, in order to open the switch, first of all, you need a browser. I'll be using Mozilla. Okay, now once the browser is running, enter the address. That is billing.localsolution.com. Now wait for the switch to load. Now this is the login screen for the MVTS switch. You won't be having a login and password. You will be not given that, but you're seeing this on my end because I've saved them in the system. Now let's complete phase 1 by pressing the login button. Left click on it. And here you go. This is all for the phase. This is all for the first part, that is logging on to your switch. Now moving on to the second part is how to open the CDR. Before telling you this is actually the first page that we're inside, the main screen of the MVTS switch. Here you can see the server time that is running. This small door is usually used to log off out of your account, and here we have the version MVTS 2 v1.4.0 on the right lower side. Now to start the second point, that is opening the CDR, move your cursor to the left. You are seeing actually 4 folders, that is origination, CDR, billing, and statistics. We need to open the CDR, so let's move on to the very left, the plus sign, that is right at the back of the CDR, and let's just left click it. Now what we see here is a child directory representing last hour that is inside the parent directory, that is the CDR. Now let's left click it, and now wait for the page to load, and there you have it. Here is the screen like that is representing your CDR. Now moving on to the last part, that is the how to filter a certain number within the CDR. Okay, actually there weren't any logs. Now since you're seeing certain logs inside the CDR, now there's certain columns that you can see above. They're self-explanatory. Now moving on to filtering out a certain number inside the CDR. In order to filter a certain number within the CDR, what you need to do is you need to left click on inside the place below below these columns, like the CDR date, disconnect time. You don't need to click on them. Eventually you'll be clicking either here, or like anywhere here. I can click here, I can click here. Okay, you can click here. So that is the point I'm trying to explain to you. Now let's left click it. Now we're seeing a small dialog box which has certain more menus inside them. Currently what the menu we'll be using is filter. Later I'll be telling you what the rest of the menus are representing. Now let's press the filter button. Actually we need to filter out a certain number. That is why we'll be using a filter button. Assuming I need to filter out this number, what I'll do is I'll save it somewhere else. Okay, I've got it here. Actually what happens is sometimes you have a lot of pages and you're tracing a certain number, so it's very hard. Like these are just 9 rows, so it's easy to trace out the number, but if you have a couple of like 10,000 rows, then it's hard. Okay, now in order to filter out that number, I told you need to do is left click and then press the filter tab. Wait for it to load. Now What you see is another dialog box that is actually your filter. You'll be filtering out, you can filter out actually a lot of things. If you need to filter out some date, you'll be using the CDR date, and there are certain more fields that you can see. These are actually representing the columns inside your CDR. So whenever we need to filter out a certain number, we'll be filtering out using the destination number in. Okay, now what you need to do is you need to filter out the number. Let's paste the number over here. Okay, now this is the number I was trying to filter out, and here you see an apply button, and just left click it. There you go. You filtered out a certain number and the relative fields of that certain number. Okay, so that is it for the phase 1 of our tutorial. Thank you and bye bye.